Welcome to Talking Cat English. In this video, you will listen to the story about Marie Curie and improve your English. Madame Curie is said to be one of the greatest women in the world. If you like the video, please support this channel and subscribe for more.
Marie Curie was one of the most important people in science. She is the only woman who won 2 Nobel Prizes, one in physics and one in chemistry. Her discoveries in radioactivity helped change science and medicine. She discovered new elements called polonium and radium. But Marie Curie's life was not easy. She had many challenges when she was young, including growing up in a poor family and losing her mother early. How did a young girl from a poor family in Poland become such a famous scientist? Despite many difficulties, she succeeded in a time when it was hard for women to do science. Marie Curie also faced personal loss when her husband, Pierre Curie, died suddenly. Despite all the hardships, she worked hard to achieve her dreams. Her story is about determination, strength, and the love of science. Marie Curie's life shows how important it is to keep going even when things are tough. To understand how she became so successful, we need to look at her early life. Marie Curie was born as Maria Salomea Sklodowska on November 7, 1867. She grew up in Warsaw, Poland, when the country was controlled by Russia. Poland at that time had many problems, and life was difficult for many people, especially women. But Marie's family valued education, which gave her a special chance to learn. Her father, Władysław Sklodowski, was a teacher of physics and mathematics. He was very smart and taught his children to love learning, even though the family had little money. Marie's mother, Bronislawa, was also a teacher who cared a lot about her children's education. Even though they were not rich, Marie's parents encouraged her to study and work hard. When Marie was 10 years old, her mother died from tuberculosis. This made Marie very sad, but it also made her want to work even harder for her family. After her mother's death, Marie's family had even more financial problems. To help, Marie worked as a governess for rich families, but she never stopped loving science. At that time, women in Poland could not go to university. So Marie joined a secret school called the Flying University, where she could learn more. Even though the school was dangerous, it helped Marie get the education she needed. It also made her more determined to study science. Marie knew that if she wanted to become a scientist, she had to leave Poland. She decided to go to Paris to study at the Sorbonne University. But life in Paris was very hard for Marie. She had little money, and people expected women to stay at home instead of studying. Even though it was difficult, Marie never gave up. She was ready to face any challenge to follow her dream of becoming a scientist. Her story was just beginning, and she had already faced many obstacles. But she was about to start a journey that would change the world. Marie arrived in Paris in 1891, and this was an important time in her life. She went to the Sorbonne, one of the best universities in the world, where very few women could study. At the Sorbonne, Marie was not just another student. She worked very hard and became one of the most important scientists of the 20th century. When she arrived, she did not speak French well and had little money. Paris was very expensive, and she lived in poor conditions. Marie often had very little food to eat. Sometimes she only had bread or potatoes for her meals. Even though life was hard, Marie never gave up. She studied for long hours in the library, reading books about physics, chemistry, and mathematics. Marie did very well at the Sorbonne, even though she had many problems. Studying in Paris cost a lot of money, and she often struggled to pay for her education. Her sister Bronia, who was also studying in Paris, helped her. Sometimes, Marie stayed in Bronia's small apartment to save money. Even with these difficulties, Marie was a top student. She graduated with the highest honors in physics in 1893 and in mathematics in 1894. Marie was one of the few women to earn a degree in physics. After finishing school, she started using her knowledge to make new scientific discoveries. Her success was not just because she was smart. She also had great determination and focus, which made her different from other scientists. Studying in Paris was not only about learning from Marie. It helped her build the foundation for future scientific research. Because of her hard work, she made it possible for other women to study and work in science too. By 1894, Marie's studies led her to meet someone who would change her life. She met Marie Curie, a smart scientist and teacher at a school in Paris. Pierre was already famous for studying magnetism and crystals. But what made their partnership special was that he saw how intelligent Marie was. Marie's research was becoming important. She started studying radioactivity, a word she created herself. Scientists were excited about Henri Becquerel's discovery that uranium gave off special rays. But no one really understood what this meant. Marie was very curious and wanted to learn more. She believed that uranium's radiation came from the atoms themselves, which helped form modern atomic theory. For Marie, science was not just about doing experiments. She wanted to understand how the world worked. Pierre shared her love for discovery and understood her dreams. Together, they started working on experiments in their small laboratory. They found that not only uranium but also thorium gave off similar rays. This led them to an important idea. Some elements had hidden energy inside them. Their hard work led to an amazing discovery. They found two new elements, polonium and radium, that changed science forever. Pierre and Marie were not only work partners but also life partners. They respected each other, shared the same values, and loved learning new things. They became very close, and in 1895, they got married. Their work in science was the most important part of their relationship. Their marriage was more than just love. It was also a strong partnership. They worked together in the lab, faced money problems, and struggled to be accepted in a world where most scientists were men. Even with these difficulties, their love and respect for each other helped them succeed. Their teamwork led to great scientific discoveries. Marie was a brilliant scientist, and Pierre always supported her. They worked together on important research that changed science. However, their marriage was not always easy. In those days, people expected women to stay home and take care of the family. Marie, however, was very dedicated to her work. Pierre always believed in her and encouraged her to follow her dreams. They had two daughters, Irene, born in 1897, and Eve, born in 1904. Their home was filled with scientific discussions and discoveries. Even with many challenges, Marie and Pierre's love and work continued to grow. Together, they created a strong legacy in science. In 1903, Marie, Pierre, and Henri Becquerel won the Nobel Prize in Physics for their work on radioactivity. This was a very special award because it showed how important their discoveries were. It was also a big moment because a woman was finally recognized in the world of science. Marie proved that her hard work and intelligence could not be ignored. But a terrible event happened just a few years later. In 1906, Marie Curie died in a traffic accident in Paris. He was hit by a horse-drawn carriage while crossing the street. His sudden death was a great shock to Marie, and she was heartbroken. Even though she was very sad, she decided to continue their work. Her love for science and her husband's memory gave her strength. In 1911, Marie won another Nobel Prize, this time in chemistry, for discovering radium and polonium. She became the first woman to win 2 Nobel Prizes. Marie never stopped searching for new knowledge, even after losing Pierre. Her dedication to science showed her strong and determined spirit. When World War I started in 1914, Marie Curie's life changed again. she decided to use her knowledge to help people in need. Many soldiers were hurt and needed urgent medical care. Marie wanted to use radioactivity to help doctors treat the wounded. She created small X-ray machines called little Curies that could be taken to the battlefield. These machines helped doctors see broken bones and injuries inside the body. Marie made sure the X-ray units worked well and trained nurses to use them. Even in dangerous war zones, she worked hard to help as many soldiers as possible. Her X-ray machines saved many lives by helping doctors find injuries more easily. Because of her efforts, many people admired and respected her even more. Marie gave up her time and health to help others. Her work in radiology was very important during the war. By the time Marie Curie died in 1934, she was one of the most important scientists in history. Her work on radioactivity helped doctors treat diseases like cancer. She also started the Radium Institute in Paris. This research center continued to study radioactivity even after she passed away. But Marie's health started to get worse. She did not know that radiation was dangerous, and years of working with it made her sick. In 1934, when she was 66 years old, she died from leukemia. This disease was caused by her long exposure to radiation. Even after her death, Marie's work continued to inspire scientists. She became a role model, especially for women in science. Her daughter, Irene Joliot Curie, also became a great scientist. In 1935, she won a Nobel Prize in chemistry, just like her mother. Marie Curie's life shows the power of hard work, intelligence, and kindness. She faced many problems, like being poor, unfair treatment of women, and losing loved ones. Still, Marie Curie never gave up. Her work changed science, medicine, and the world in many ways. Her story teaches us that no problem is too big to solve. With passion and hard work, we can overcome anything. Marie Curie's life was not just about science. It was also about strength, kindness, and a love for learning.